Yeah. I'll call the meeting to order. We're going to ask Councilman Bellard to please lead us in prayer and Councilman Kunk to lead us in the pledge.
We, the members of the Lafayette City Parish Council, having been chosen to represent the people of this locality, beg of thee, Almighty God, to enlighten our minds so that our work will be just and fair in all things. Give us the courage and strength to fulfill our duties according to the laws of the land, and in so doing, fulfilling also thy holy will on earth and in heaven, through Christ our Lord. Amen.
Amen.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you, gentlemen. We welcome you to the City Parish Council meeting. We, as your representatives in the Lafayette Consolidated Government, welcome your involvement and encourage your participation. This meeting is a public hearing. If you wish to address the council on any item on this agenda, please fill out a blue request to address the council form noting the agenda item number. The blue form is available to you in the foyer and should be submitted to the council clerk, Ms. Veronica L. Williams, seated to my left in the middle, prior to the call of the agenda item. It is important to fill out the blue form completely and note the specific agenda item number about which you wish to speak. If the card is not completely filled out or is not legible to the clerk, you will not be given the opportunity to speak. If you have materials you wish to submit to the council, please give those to Ms. Williams along with your blue form. In an effort to allow everyone an opportunity to be heard, the 5-minute rule will be in effect. Speakers shall refrain from debating, personal attacks, and from making confrontational or derogatory comments. I am requesting that the first row to my left be used for media only. Lastly, food and drinks are not allowed in the auditorium, and all phones and electronic devices shall be silenced from this point forward. I am also requesting that anyone who approaches the council state their name and title for the official record. Meeting procedures are by resolution and not by Robert's Rules of Order. Documents including agendas, ordinances, resolutions, and minutes related to this meeting are posted online at www.lafayette.la.gov or refer to the web address on the top of the agenda. The council encourages your involvement and participation by volunteering for boards and commissions. If you are interested in finding out which board suits your interests, please call 291-8800 or pick up a pamphlet at the door. Obviously, we have a pack house tonight, and there are a number of things that are going on. And what we're going to do is ask for cooperation. Fire Watch has arrived, so we're going to have to keep the aisles clean to make everybody safe. And, of course, we're going to take a little time as we transition from maybe one issue to another to allow some folks to leave and other people to come in for their particular issue. I'm going to move to chair announcements now. Actually, first, District 1, Kevin Nakane, he's en route. He should be walking in shortly. He's running a little late. There you go. See, it's like magic over here. You see that? I said Kevin, he pops up. Welcome, Kevin. Item number 7, Ordinance 035-2017. Members, this one is for you. The Memorandum of Understanding between Lafayette Consolidated Government and St. Landry Parish Government and Workforce Development Board number 40. It has an amendment that we will need tonight, changing the Memorandum of Understanding to a Cooperative Endeavor Agreement between Lafayette Consolidated Government and St. Landry Parish Government and the Workforce Development Board number 40. With the Cooperative Endeavor Agreement also including certain additional terms required by the Louisiana Workforce Commission requested by legal. So when we get to item number 7, we will need to have an amendment offered. Item number 16. Item 16, the appeal of the Planning Commission's action is being deferred until April 18th meeting at the request of the Planning, Zoning, and Department and the applicant. Adjacent property owners will be notified by mail of the new date and time of the appeal. If you are here for the Spring Hill Development appeal, that is being taken off the agenda by the department and the applicant jointly, and that'll be moved to our next council meeting. Speaking of Mr. Nakane, I would like to wish Kevin, our council member and vice chair, happy birthday, which he will celebrate on tomorrow. Happy birthday, Kevin. Okay. I first want to congratulate Mayor President Mr. Joe Robideau on his Robideau report, also known as the State of the Parish or the Condition of the Parish. Had the fortune of being there, and I just want to express appreciation for the information that he did share and things that we could develop and grow on, and especially the acknowledgement of the work of the council. This government is, in fact, only as good as the administration, the council, and its employees all working together. So again, thank you for those acknowledgements that was made, and we really do appreciate that. Those are all the announcements I have. At this time, I'm going to open up the floor for council announcements. Mr. Cohn.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. President Trump yesterday signed a bill which repeals regulations adopted last October by the Federal Communications Commission under the Obama administration. That regulation would have required Internet service providers to do more to protect the privacy of their customers. I've received some questions of concern from constituents about local Internet providers and whether their usage data would be sold to outside advertisers and marketers. I can only answer on behalf of LUS Fiber, which is owned by the citizens of Lafayette. LUS Fiber has always recognized that its customers highly value your privacy, and LUS Fiber has never participated in any types of these activities, nor do they intend to do so. So I would encourage everyone to stay informed about your privacy rights and then choose your Internet provider accordingly. Thank you, sir.
Thank you. Any other council announcements? Seeing none, we're going to now move to the Mayor President's report. We have a number of issues on the agenda there tonight. Mr. President.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I do have a few proclamations that I'd like to read into the public record. The first one is on behalf of the Lafayette Commission on the Needs of Women. The proclamation begins, whereas Sexual Assault Awareness Month calls attention to the fact that sexual violence is widespread and impacts every person in this community, and whereas child sexual abuse prevention must be a priority to confront the reality that 1 in 6 boys and 1 in 4 girls will experience a sexual assault before age 18, and whereas young people experience heightened rates of sexual violence in youth ages 12 to 17, were 2.5 times as likely to be victims of rape or sexual assault. And whereas we must work together to educate our community about sexual violence prevention, supporting survivors, and speaking out against harmful attitudes and actions. And whereas the first step in preventing sexual abuse and healing those affected in our community is taking action to create a safer environment and to increase education, awareness, and community involvement. And whereas the Lafayette Commission on the Needs of Women in Detail's Day of Hope Freedom Rally, Take a Stand, join advocates and communities across the country in action to prevent sexual violence. And whereas April is designated as Sexual Assault Awareness Month, each day of the year is an opportunity to create change for the future. Now, therefore, I, Joel Robideau, Mayor President of Lafayette Consolidated Government, do hereby proclaim the month of April 2017 as Sexual Assault Awareness Month.
Thank you very much. Mr. Mayor, if we could, is anyone here from Hearts of Hope and the sexual assault? Would y'all please come forward as well, please? I know we have kind of joint organizations, and I would ask that they maybe go to the other mic if you could, and I know they have a big event coming up on April 11th as well, so I just wanted to make sure everybody was included in this, in what you have shared with us.
So on behalf of the Lafayette Commission on the Needs of Women, again, we like to say thank you for the continued support of Lafayette Consolidated Governments. We thank you for acknowledging that this problem does exist in our community, and as we partner together hand in hand, organization to organization, church to church, we can deal with the myth that, you know what, it's something you don't need to talk about, and I just thank you for acknowledging that it does exist, and together we can work to end sexual assault.
Thank you so much for including us. Hearts of Hope is honored
The mic comes down.
Yeah, I need to get taller. Hearts of Hope is so honored to be frontline warriors in the community against sexual assault and sexual abuse. If I can just put it into some numbers for you. We interview over 500 kids each year from the Acadiana region with allegations of sexual assault and sexual abuse. We respond to one ER about every 3 days right here in Lafayette Parish. So our work is endless. We believe that prevention wins the war. We educate over 12,000 kids and adults in our community, and we'd like to invite everyone to come see us. On Tuesday, April 11th, from 11 to 1, we are opening our doors to show you what we do. We're located at 911 General Mouton Avenue, and we are so excited to be community partners with you.
Go ahead.
And we do want to announce on April 15th, we have the Dutel Freedom Rally at Parc Sans-Souci from 11 o'clock to 1 o'clock, spreading awareness in our community. So the public is invited.
Thank you. When the president calls you, you have to come. Joe, they say that it's the commission of the needs of women. They need to be closer to the women.
One more.
Thank you.
$5.
Yeah. 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 While Mr. Robidoux is returning to his seat, the screen behind us is going to probably reflect the fact that Hearts of Hope was getting an additional proclamation that was all in one. The last proclamation he's going to do is going to actually be Festival International when he gets to that point. You still have the floor, Mr. President.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I do have another proclamation that spoke to some of the group earlier today. I think they're well represented out in the audience, and it's the RSVP group. So, whereas service to others, and I'll take the picture, we'll take the picture in front of the men on this one. Whereas service to others is a hallmark of the American character and central to how we meet our challenges. And whereas the nation's counties and cities are increasingly turning to national service and volunteerism as a cost-effective strategy to meet their needs, whereas AmeriCorps and Senior Corps participants address the most pressing challenges facing our communities, from educating students for the jobs of the 21st century and supporting veterans and military families, to providing health services and helping communities recover from natural disasters. Whereas AmeriCorps and Senior Corps participants serve in more than 50,000 locations across the country, bolstering the civic, neighborhood, and faith-based organizations that are so vital to our economic and social well-being. Whereas national service represents a unique public-private partnership that invests in community solutions and leverages non-federal resources to strengthen community impact and increase the return on taxpayer dollars. Whereas national service participants demonstrate commitment, dedication, and patriotism by making an intensive commitment to service, a commitment that remains with them in their future endeavors. And whereas the Corporation for National and Community Service shares a priority with county officials, parish officials, and mayors nationwide to engage citizens, improve lives, and strengthen communities, and is joining with the National League of Cities, National Association of Counties, Cities of Service, and mayors and county officials across the country for the Mayor and County Recognition Day for the National Service on April 4th, 2017. Therefore, be it resolved that I, Joel Robidoux, Mayor President of Lafayette Consolidated Government, do hereby proclaim April 4th, 2017 as National Service Recognition Day. Susanna, it's all yours.
All right. Good evening. I'm Susanna Johnson Malbrough, Smile RSVP Project Director, and we're so happy to be here. I'm not sure how many people are behind me. But we're all seniors, and thank you for taking the opportunity to recognize the seniors. This is a day, as I've been trying to communicate with the elected officials, it's an opportunity where the elected officials, it used to be mainly the mayors, but now it's the elected officials in all branches thanking the volunteers of our community. As Mayor Robideau indicated, it's also AmeriCorps and it's Senior Corps. So we go from the very youngest to the very senior folks. And they're out in the community making a difference, and we're going to be letting you know more of what they do. So thank you, thank you, thank you. And I also want to say, we recognize, I like to call the volunteers volunteer jewels. Hashtag volunteer jewels.
We may want to step out. Can you get it from here? Yeah.
Trying to move all them people in front of here.
I'm right here.
You got it, Skyra.
Okay, here we go.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you.
You got your purse?
All right, this will empty out the room.
Oh, I know that's right.
I wonder if they'll.
Yeah, I had him. Yes, I got him. Mhm.
All right, Mr. Chairman, I have one more proclamation, last one, certainly not least. We just raised the flag in the front of City Hall commemorating the start of festival. And so the proclamation reads, whereas Lafayette Consolidated Government supports and encourages cultural, economic development and tourism ventures, and whereas the 31st Annual Festival International de Louisiana, the largest, most significant Francophone festival in the United States, will be held in Lafayette, Louisiana on April 26th through the 30th, 2017, and whereas Festival International has become one of the leading Francophone festivals in the world, highlighting the French cultural heritage of South Louisiana, whereas Festival contributes to Lafayette and Acadiana's tourism industry, serving as a destination for hundreds of thousands of visitors from throughout the world. And whereas Lafayette, Louisiana is the heart of French-speaking Louisiana, and Festival provides unparalleled enrichment in the community with a celebration of its culture through performing arts, education on historical achievements. And whereas Festival International exhibits artistic expressions of related global cultures while benefiting the community economically by expanding Louisiana's reputation as an art center and destination for artistic events for our residents and visitors. And whereas Festival International de Louisiana enhances Lafayette's image and standing in international relations and the potential for international trade development. Now, therefore, I, Joel Robideau, Mayor President of Lafayette Consolidated Government, do hereby proclaim April 2017 Festival International de Louisiana Month.
We appreciate that, Joel, and we appreciate the council and the city's help and endorsement of Festival, and we hope that you'll all come and have a good time with Festival. We're going to be starting things going on the 12th with tattooed walls on the back wall of the Hilliard, and we'll have other events going on between now and then. And buy your flag, fly your flag, support the festival. We just put one up.
Disappointingly, that's the last one, Mr. Chairman.
All right. I think you have a bid. Do we have a bid tonight? I think you have a bid item. Thomasia, was she able to get in the room?
Oh, Pat's coming.
Oh, I'm sorry, Pat. Yeah.
My name's Pat Broussard. I'm a buyer in purchasing. And the bid item we have today is the approval of the disaster debris contract that we just took out RFPs on.
Motion by Conk, second by Nakant to accept. Council discussion? There's none. Is there any blue cards on this item? Please call the vote.
Yes.
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 Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you, Pat. We're going to move to ceremonial presentations at this time. Liz, could you please read item number 5?
Recognition, Lafayette Christian Academy Girls and Boys Basketball Teams, 2017 State Champions.
Okay. Mr. Pat Lewis, you now have the floor.
Okay, Mr. Chair, Mr. Mayor, I'd like to take this time out to recognize the boys and girls basketball team for Lafayette Christian Academy School. They won the 2017 championship. That is unique to Lafayette Parish, where the boys and the girls win the state championship. That happened this year, so we're going to have to continue with the ceremony. There's a film that we'd like to show to the people that had not been at some of the games, just a little short presentation of what happened, how they became successful this year, 2017. So please be patient and give us a few minutes. Thank you. I just want to let y'all know there was a sophomore that put this film together. You know, the young minds these days. I'd like to have the Boys and Girls Scout and the staff, boys and girls basketball team, and the staff to come forward, please. Okay, I'm going to read a proclamation to the girls. Whereas members of the Lafayette Christian Academy girls basketball team made the entire community proud by winning their first ever state title in Division IV, Class 1A. And whereas the team completed its seasons with an overall record of 25 wins and 10 losses, while the district record was 13 wins and 1 loss. And whereas the team was successfully coached by head coach Errol K. Rogers and assistant coach Devin Lantier, and whereas the All-State Sugar Bowl Louisiana High School Athletic Association Girls Basketball Tournament was held February 27 through March 4, 2017 on the campus of Southeastern Louisiana University within the United Center Arena in front of a packed house. And whereas, although it was the Lady Knights' first appearance in a state championship game, they made the most of it by defeating Homer Christian with a score of 54-46. Megan Ambrose was recognized as the MVP and was selected to the all-tournament team. And whereas receive awards in their district this season are Megan Ambrose, First Team District 7, 1A, Erin Rogers, Second Team District 7, 1A, Reagan Lantier, and Defensive Team 7, 1A. Now, therefore, be it proclaimed by the Lafayette City Parish Council on this 4th day of April 2017 that today we congratulate members of Lafayette Christian Academy girls basketball team for their hard work and ultimate winning accomplishments as they are hereby declared Division 7 championship. There's the girls. I'll be giving you the scene. And I would like to read one for the boys. Whereas the Lafayette Christian Academy boys basketball team made their 4th straight trip to the All-State Sugar Bowl Louisiana High Athletic Association boys basketball tournament, and whereas the tournament was held in Bolton Coliseum on the campus of McNeese State University in Lake Charles, Louisiana. And whereas in the first appearance of Division IV championship game, the Knight took on Southern Laboratory Kittens with a final victory score, LCA 53, Kittens 43. And whereas the Lafayette Christian Academy team members consisted of forming Galen Starks and Gregory Williams Jr., the gatekeepers, Terrence Jones, Pierre Dupree, Kalen Thibodeau, Jordan Hall, Victor Dupree, Aaron Rogers Jr., Kalen Kane, the enforcers, Hunter Campbell, Javon Howard, Zachary Clements, Logan Gabriel, Martin Lee, Cameron Castro, and Galen Alexander. And whereas coming off of all Stellar's 30-5 season, 14-0 in district, Coach Brian Starks, assistant coach Joshua Broussard, Joshua Como, Chris Kane, Chris Poland, managers Robley Domingue and Leslie Porter, and the Talent Bars basketball team achieved another successful season. Now, therefore, be it proclaimed the Lafayette City Parish Council on this 4th day of April 2017 that today we congratulate Coach Starks, members of the Lafayette Christian Academy Bars basketball team, and support staff for their hard work and ultimate winning accomplishments as they hereby declare Division IV 1A state championship, the Lafayette Academy Bars basketball champs. I'm going to step down and I'm going to step down and take a pictures. And after we take the picture, I'd like the staff to remain standing, please.
Yeah. And you can go in this room. Yeah. Where's the girls? Well, you're gonna get in with both of them. You're always nervous around a lot of
Let me get on a stool, man.
You can stand on that table.
Yeah, I need to see. Yeah, right there on that table.
Not bad, huh? Congratulations, girl. You did well.
Wait, one more, guys.
All right, before y'all leave, Coach, before y'all leave, Pastor Miller, hold on one second if you don't mind, please. Before they leave, I want to call up the senator from District 24. The gifts keep coming, and there's a special presentation from the state that was asked to be presented at this time as well. So I'm going to call up Gerald Boudreaux, the senator from District 24.
Sorry, District 24.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman and members of the council. Congratulations to the boys and girls basketball team. It is quite an honor for the school to bring home 2 state championships. So we wanted to go an extra step and make sure that not only they were recognized at the local level. I filed a resolution which will be voted on by the members of the entire Senate on next week. And as a result of that, it will be permanently archived into the records of the state of Louisiana. So let me do the ladies first, and just a few whereases and then a therefore, and then we'll move to the young men. So we want to commend and congratulate the Lafayette Christian Academy Lady Knights basketball team on winning the 2017 Louisiana High School Athletic Association Division IV State Championship. And whereas the first time in the school history, a Lafayette Christian Academy team brought home a state championship, and whereas the Lady Knight players completed their season with an impressive winning record of 30 wins and 10 losses, and whereas the Lady Knights defied the odds and defeated the #1 team in Division IV, the Houma Christian Lady Warriors, and whereas the Lady Knights were victorious in an epic battle of skill and agility to beat the Lady Warriors by a final score of 54-46. And whereas the score was tied at 7-all at the end of the first quarter, the Lady Knights began to pull away in the second quarter, outscoring the Lady Warriors in that second period 15-11 to take a 22-18 halftime advantage. And whereas the lead only grew for the Lady Knights coming out of the locker room as they outscored the Lady Warriors 13-8, pushing the advantage to 36-26 going into the fourth quarter. And whereas they held the Lady Warriors to 27% shooting on the night, and junior guard Megan Abrams relentlessly attacked the rim on her way to a 33-point outburst and 22 free throw attempts. And whereas Ms. Abrams' 33 points were only 6 shy of the Class A record for points in a game, and her 7 rebounds clinched her selection as the most valuable player. And whereas sophomore forward Janae Duffy added 6 points and 12 rebounds to catapult the Lady Knights toward victory. And whereas the distinguished team performed, their performance in the entire area was reflective of Lafayette Christian Academy's Lady Knights basketball team throughout the regular season and the postseason, and has earned them the Division IV state championship title. And whereas the amazing accomplishments of this team could not have been achieved without the guidance and skills of head coach Errol Rogers and assistant coach Devon Launche, as well as all of the other individuals who have contributed to the success of the Lady Knights basketball program. Therefore, be it resolved, each of the coaches, managers, and the extraordinary young women of Lafayette Christian Academy, Lady Knights, are commended and congratulated on a much-deserved championship title, which was earned through teamwork, determination, and dedication to the sport of basketball. Congratulations. And the second one for our young men, the resolution is to commend and congratulate the Lafayette Christian Academy Knights boys basketball team on winning the 2017 Louisiana High School Athletic Association Division IV championship. And whereas Lafayette Christian Academy Knights defeated the Southern Lab Kittens by a score of 52-43 to win the Class 1A Division IV state championship. And whereas the Knights ended the season with an impressive overall record of 29 wins and 5 losses, and were undefeated in district play with a record of 14-0. And whereas the top-notch performance from up and down the lineup contributed to the team's triumphant win, and junior Greg Williams, 24 points, 5 rebounds, 3 assists, 2 block shots, and 5 steals, were rewarded with the much-deserved designation of Most Valuable Player. And whereas the Knights held the Kittens to only 19 points in the second half and 15 turnovers, they utilized a brutal 1-3-1 defense. Jared, I'll explain it to you after the meeting. 1-3-1, 1-3-1. 1-3-1 zone defense, forcing Southern Lab to attempt shots from the outside. And whereas the Kittens missed all 10 of their shots from the three-point line, and the Knights took advantage of that. And whereas this distinguished performance of this team and the entire Lafayette Christian Academy Knights basketball team throughout the regular season and the postseason has earned them the Division IV championship title. And whereas the amazing accomplishments of this team could not have been achieved without the guidance and skills of head coach Byron Starks and assistant coaches Christopher Poulard, Joshua Broussard, Joshua Cormier, and Christopher Kane, as well as all the other individuals who have contributed to the success of the Lafayette Christian Academy basketball program. Therefore, it be resolved that each of the coaches, managers, and the extraordinary young men of Lafayette Christian Academy Knights are commended and congratulated on their much-deserved championship title, which was earned through teamwork, determination, and dedication to the sport of basketball. Again, congratulations. Pastor Miller said if they stayed 30 minutes, would it be okay to pass a collection? I said, not at the local level or the state level, so.
Well, you know, it was brought to my attention. I think you talk more today than you've done since you've been in government. You said a couple of whereases and a therefore, but you did a whole game commentary. You used to be an official, not an announcer.
We have other items on the agenda, so we'll move on with the meeting, Mr. Chairman.
Thank y'all very much. We wanted to allow the senator to make his presentation. We're going to now turn the floor back over to Mr. Lewis to finish his presentation at this time.
Thank you, Senator Boudreaux. I appreciate that as well. I'd like the coach and the pastor, the man standing, the rest can have a seat, and this is someone else's turn now. Okay, Mr. Rogers. Coach Rogers, I'd like you to give us, you know, a little bit about your players and what happened. Just give us a little comment, recognize them, please. And I'll be asking the same thing by Mr. Coach Storks.
All right, you just want to say the names and give a little?
Yeah, whatever you want to say. Okay. Just recognize them, please.
Okay. I want to start with, first of all, it was a great year. These girls started lifting weights in the summer and worked very hard. We started 4 years ago. When I started over there, we couldn't make a layup. you'd had to been there to see it. It was horrible. we were really bad. I thought I got myself into something I couldn't handle. But with a lot of hard work, a lot of dedication, these young ladies, they just became unbelievable. And they made me look good. That's all I can say.
Good, good.
So let me just introduce you to the players. Tiana Ballantyne. Aaron Rodgers. Micah Broussard. Sasha Rudd. Megan Abrams. Janae Duffy. Lauren Starwood. Isha Cooper. Madison Trawhorn. Reagan Lantier. Ajaya Simpson. Madison Ward. Alexia Ardoin. And Trinea Isaac. Oh, let me, a couple more, I'm sorry. Autumn Chasson, Kirsten Journette, Cameron Burrell, Zoe Wilkes. And our managers, Caitlin Moran, I'm going blank. Tierra Cormier, and who else?
You got Sarah, you got
And the rest of them, thank you.
Okay,
And not least, my great assistant coach.
I'm sorry, your assistant coach, yes.
Yes,
Okay.
he did
What's
a
his
great
name?
job.
What is his name? That's okay, and he's in there too.
Devin Longshade, better known as T-Frog.
T-Frog, okay. Okay, Coach Bond, can you give us a little synopsis too, as well as what happened with your team?
Just want to first of all say that I've coached a great group of kids. In one part of our season, I read the book, You Win in the Locker Room First, and started reading excerpts to the kids in practice. I would send it to my coaches, and I read it for myself. And it was a point in our season where, we didn't know where we were going with it, but we were playing lights out, playing hard, playing for one another. And our theme this year was become a part of the mob, all right? And we're not talking about any gangster stuff. We're talking about making others better. This group of kids bought into it. They did an extraordinary job. There were times, especially in the, midway through the season, where one of our players went down, and, a lot of people around the area and maybe some outside, inside, weren't sure if we were even going to make it that far. And we ended up sticking together. They played extremely hard. They loved one another. I always felt like if you had a team with talent, you had a system in place, and they believed in the system. And the fourth and most important ingredient for me in every championship team I've been a part of was they cared about one another. And I think that's what got us over the hump. These young men were extraordinary. So I'm not going to name each of them individually, but I'm going to name them by their stage name, which we gave them in this season, which we have our foremen. If you guys will stand up, the two foremen will stand up. You know who you are. Okay. Our gatekeepers, those were the guys I told them before they get into the house, you were to be pesky, harass them, and don't allow them to get into the front court easily. So gatekeepers, stand up on your feet. And last but not least, the enforcers. And if they got past the gatekeepers, these guys here, their job was to cause problems, be nasty, make sure we did all of the dirty work, rebounding, boxing out, getting on the floor for loose balls. So the enforcers, if y'all will, y'all stand up. And this makes up our entire team of guys that put together a championship run, and I'm so pleased and proud of them for their efforts. Other than that, that's it. Our coaches helped us out as well, and Josiah Broussard, who was my right-hand man, and when it came to, scouting reports, he actually went to watch Southern Lab maybe 2 or 3 times on his own dime, and brought back a report, a spy out of the land of the giants, and we were able to put some things together. And also Pastor Jay as well, he was on the hunt, and I just sat back in my little cubby and just let them go do what they needed to do, and we put together a game plan, and we all did it together, and it was a tremendous thing. And even my lovely wife as well, she was my coach. She actually texted me during the game. I didn't see it, but she said, get in zone, all right? We had already gotten in zone beforehand, but that's my little coach right there, and our team moms as well. They were very extraordinary, the administration, staff, teachers as well, who were working with these young men. So we appreciate everybody. I don't know if I missed anyone, but everybody that was involved, even our video crew, trainer, from the top all the way down. Thank you all. Thank you for this wonderful occasion.
Okay, and I'd like to, the hunter, Pastor J. Miller, I'd like you to come up and say a few comments, please.
Yeah, I just want to say on behalf of Lafayette Christian Academy, we just want to say thank you to City Parish President, Mr. Joe Robideau, and our councilman, Patrick Lewis. We've been collaborating for the last year and a half with, Parks and Recreation and to partner together to revitalize Moore Park. That's heavy on our heart. It's right near to us. And we were able to come into an agreement together with your support, and we're looking to begin construction within 30 days. And I will be sending the council through Mr. Pat Lewis some images, if you have not seen them, of what the Moore Park project is going to look like upon completion. And it is going to make the city proud. It's going to make you as council members that were part of that vote proud. And it'll definitely be instrumental in the progress of building young athletes in our community, on our side as well. So on behalf of the basketball team, as president and as pastor, and by the way, as pastor, I'm the shortest winded. I'll make note of that. Please put that on the docket, Mr. Kenneth. And but anyway, we thank again for being able to partner with people like you that have vision, that see things in us, so that we can make our community better. Thank you very much.
And thank you, guys. To all of y'all. Thanks. Okay, Councilman. Thank you. Yeah. Thank you.
To the parents and the families of LCA, the photos that was taken by Lafayette Consolidated Government will be on the Lafayette Consolidated Government's Facebook page, and you're more than welcome to go and capture those images if you would like, for those who was not able to come forward. So Ms. Sidra with the administration is going to make sure that they're up online, and I'm sure by tomorrow you'll be able to capture those. Go to the Lafayette Consolidated Government Facebook page. We're going to just allow a little time for the room to clear and for others to get seats.
Yeah, I was just looking at that.
We need to make all the records in the front row from now on.
He's good, he's going next month. He's good with me. You see the lady all the way to the back with the white shirt on with glasses? Yes. That's Mary. Oh, okay. And that's her husband, which was the right of her. Okay, gotcha. Sweet lady.
All right, we're going to continue on with the meeting. We're going to move to resolutions. Again, this is a public hearing, and blue sheets are available for anyone wishing to address the council. The 5-minute rule does apply. Liz, could you please read item number 6?
Resolution 16, 2017. A resolution of the Lafayette City Parish Council supporting the Lafayette Parish School Board's proposal for a half-cent sales tax.
Motion by Nakam. Second by Cook. Council discussion. Mr. Lewis?
Yes, is someone from the school board here? I'm sure they're here. Can they come up, please, to the podium? Yes, sir. Can you tell us who you are? Just let us know.
Yes.
I mean, we know.
My name's Don Aguilar. I'm the superintendent of schools in the Lafayette Parish School System.
Okay. And you guys are proposing a half-cent sales tax, right? And exactly how will that work? Can you give me a little bit more information about that?
Absolutely. Thank you. The school board has on the April 29 ballot a half-cent sales tax. It is exempting food and drugs It is term limited. It's a 10-year term. This particular tax is dedicated by way of a resolution that was adopted unanimously by the Lafayette Parish School Board. It is further referenced in the proposition language specifically. Therefore, these revenues that to be derived by this half-cent sales tax are 100% dedicated for the use to repair and replace facilities. Specifically, we are targeting temporary classrooms in the district. The district has approximately 420 metal buildings, temporary classrooms that are on our campuses. The tax revenues from this proposition will allow the district to remove, replace, eliminate 248 metal buildings. We will be focused specifically on removing temporary buildings, targeting many elementary campuses. The proposition calls for 12 campuses to receive improvements by way of this proposition. 11 of the 12 campuses are elementary campuses. This proposition will allow schools with excessive numbers of metal buildings to allow all of those metal buildings to be removed, brand new wings to be built. In addition to the wings replacing the metal buildings, we intend to make improvements to the cafeteria, to the bathroom numbers on those campuses, to the library, to the administrative wings. In essence, we are bringing these schools back up to capacity based on the current enrollment at these schools. As we look back at the history of the Lafayette Parish school system, decisions were made whereby rather than build new schools or rather than build wings onto existing campuses, many of our elementary schools were built originally for 300 to 400 students. So the cafeteria was sized correctly. The number of bathrooms architecturally configured correctly for 300 to 400 students. Unfortunately, we haven't built wings, and we haven't built enough new schools. At this point, we have many of our elementary schools that are 200% above capacity. That just stresses those facilities to the point where it's frustrating for teachers, it's frustrating for students. We have students who get dropped off on a regular basis in front of our buildings. They walk through the main building out to the back side of the campus into metal buildings. We currently have 6,000 students daily who are educated in metal buildings. That represents 20% of our student population. Now, if they were brand new metal buildings with nice canopies leading out to them, some people might say that's acceptable. But unfortunately, the inventory that we have of metal buildings averages 40 years of service. A small number of our metal buildings are 60 years old. We have a few of those buildings that were purchased used from USL in the 1960s and are still in operation today. This tax is term limited. It's a half-cent sales tax. It exempts food and drugs. For a homeowner, a taxpayer, thinking about their monthly budget, after they pay their rent, their house note, their car insurance, their other bills, and if they're left with $500 monthly for retail purchases, a half-cent sales tax adds $2.50 to that family budget monthly. That's what a half-cent sales tax, the burden is on $500 of retail purchases. Once again, this tax will allow us to remove nearly 248 metal buildings on our campuses. What it will do, in addition to just that very impressive reduction in the number of metal buildings, on those on the elementary campuses, we will eliminate, by way of this tax, 80% of our metal buildings on elementary campuses. Very impressive. Our inventory will go down from 269 classrooms, metal classrooms on elementary campuses. We will eliminate 217, leaving us an inventory of 52 metal buildings on elementary campuses. I urge you to consider supporting this tax, not for the school system, but for the children of Lafayette Parish and the future and the vitality of the school system. I spoke to you several months ago about the very dramatic academic gains in the Lafayette Parish school system. I'm happy to tell you that we continue on track to increase graduation rates, to increase kids graduating with credentials, and raise student achievement in the district. Tonight, and by way of this tax proposition on April 29, the citizens of Lafayette will have an opportunity to address facility needs in the Lafayette Parish school system. I urge you to support this tax proposition.
Okay, you were saying something. I heard you say that you used a scenario that a homeowner that they left over with about $500. But just to let you know that I represent a poor district. Some of them, that's their check, $500, $600 a month.
Yes, sir.
So how would that relate to what you are describing? Because, again, I have a district that's underserved, and I do understand about the Butler buildings, what you are telling me. Now, another question I have along with that, these buildings, are y'all leasing them or are y'all purchasing these buildings?
Sir, we only have 24 leased buildings today. We own the balance of those metal buildings. In terms of the burden to
Yes.
a taxpayer, think about the reality that some time ago, there was a 1-cent sales tax imposed on the citizens of Lafayette. It was term limited for 9 months. And we have the beginning of what will be a very modern airport terminal in Lafayette. The citizens of Lafayette in your district paid that 1 additional cent. I'm not saying that $2.50 monthly on $500 of retail sales, I'm not saying that that should not be considered. I believe, however, this is a very reasonable tax to offer to the voters to address what is arguably a problem that this community has been dealing with for the past 40 years. I can show you countless studies, countless blue ribbon committees that have walked through our campuses and have looked at our facilities. And there's no way to fix this problem by painting these buildings. We have to address the fact that we have far too many temporary buildings. Our neighbor, right down Highway 90, Iberia Parish, has 10 metal buildings in their parish. They have been using, in their case, a property tax for the past 30 years. They have been proposing a project listing, getting voter approval, completing those projects, going back to their voters, doing another list of projects, showing that they intend to fulfill their promise to the voters. They've done this now for 3 decades. Lafayette hasn't. We have not addressed our facility needs in the past 30 years. We're 3 decades behind Iberia Parish in rehabilitating our facilities. This represents a $200 million down payment on the most glaring facility needs in the district today. I urge you to consider that we are addressing our most fragile population, elementary students, being educated in metal buildings. Once again, I urge you to consider supporting this tax.
So what would happen if, if the tax doesn't pass? I mean, y'all gonna forget, y'all gonna leave them in these metal buildings?
Well, what happens if the tax doesn't pass is we continue to budget approximately $5 to $6 million annually to address facility needs. That's what happens.
Because, I understand this is a school board tax you guys are asking to pass, but I'm sure pretty soon the city, the consolidated government, we have facilities, we have roads and drainage. Just last Saturday, we had problems with the drainage. We have roads that the school buses pass on these roads, and when these roads that need to be repaired, they're looking for the city to repair these roads. So, that's why I have a concern right there about, because I know pretty soon we'll be asking for the citizens of Lafayette Parish for a tax increase. And that's $500 that my constituents receive monthly. The next, if it's $200 with you guys, $2 might be another $5, and it'll hurt them.
Yes, sir.
That's a big hurt. And again,
we understand that.
Yeah, okay, thank you.
Any other council discussion? There's none. Are there any blue cards for this matter?
Yes, sir. First speaker is Dr. Don Aguilar. Do you want to
Okay,
speak?
he's done it. He's done it.
Next speaker, Andre Bro. Oh, he did not want to speak, but he is in support. Sorry about that. And the final speaker is Justin Santini.
Do I need to press a button? Obviously not. Thank you, Mr. Chair, Mr. Mayor President, Councilman, for taking time out of your meeting tonight to entertain this resolution. My name is Justin Santani. I'm the school board member for District 6. And Mr. Lewis, I'll try to answer some of your concerns by reviewing the tax history of the Lafayette Parish school system, in that from 1925 until 2007, we had a $15.5 mil property tax that was used to build just about every school that you know about in Lafayette Parish, from Lafayette High School to the other 4 high schools and all of the elementary schools. We built 36 schools in 32 years, starting in 1950. In 1983, the voters of Lafayette Parish renewed it was ad valorem taxes supporting general obligation bonds. They renewed those bonds for the last time in 1983. I think we can all understand why. The bottom dropped out of the economy. We had just built 36 schools. We should be good for a while. Unfortunately, it's been a while. Since that time, 2 half-cent sales taxes have been approved by the voters of Lafayette Parish. One in 1987, which was dedicated to asbestos removal. This is how long ago it was. It was dedicated to asbestos removal and retiree health care costs. The second half-cent sales tax was approved by the voters in 2001 and dedicated to teacher salaries. So yes, we have replaced that revenue that we lost for facilities that was dedicated to facilities in the early 80s. We have replaced that for other priorities in the meantime. We can't use those for facilities. So we're still stuck in the same spot we were in 1983, where we have no dedicated revenue stream for facilities, and the increases in sales taxes and property taxes in the meantime have gone to other priorities which the voters have approved. So what we're asking is a half-cent sales tax to restore the revenue stream from the early 80s all the way back to the 20s. That's all we're asking. Now, as far as the size of it and how we came to the configuration, 6 years ago, we asked the voters of Lafayette Parish to improve every school we had. We had a $600 million property tax, a half-cent sales tax, 2 mills for maintenance. It was well over $1 billion over 20 years, and I voted no. I'm on the school board. I voted no in 2011 on that tax because it was too large, it was too long, it wasn't dedicated enough. I didn't want to trust anyone over 20 years to spend that amount of money. This time, we tried to learn our lesson. We're asking for $200 million. This is not a solution. This is the first step. This is a bite that this current school board can chew. This is us trying to demonstrate to the voters of Lafayette Parish that if they trust us with this money, we'll build these buildings, we'll come back, and we'll say, check the list. Because in the resolution that is mentioned in the ballot language that dedicates this, there is a list of projects that, like the superintendent mentioned, 12 projects. Check the list at the end of 10 years. That's it. That's our proposition to the voters of Lafayette Parish. It's just like you go to the bank for a construction loan, and they want to see your building plans, and they don't let you just draw the whole $200,000 at once, right? You got to go back 4 or 5 times and show them the project. They send somebody out to the construction site, check your progress. This is what we're trying to do with the voters of Lafayette Parish, because at the end of the day, 6-year-olds, 7-year-olds in metal buildings trying to hear teachers over air conditioning window units, pattering rain, and even getting to the class in a dry condition is sometimes a challenge, and it's definitely a roadblock to learning. So with that, I appreciate your time. I really do. And I know nobody here woke up this morning saying, you know what I'm going to do today? I'm going to vote for a tax. I know nobody did that. I didn't do that when we called the election. But it's a necessary thing, just like roads and bridges. If the school buses have great roads to drive on, but the kids can't learn once they get there, I don't know how we're any better off. So thank you for your consideration, Councilman Lewis, and the rest of the council members.
Thank you. Next speaker?
The final speaker.
Okay. I'm going to take a chair privilege and acknowledge, we also have with us other board members. Member Mary Morrison is here. Member Dawn Morris is here. Jeremy Hildegold, and I think I saw Member Elroy Broussard walk in just a moment ago, and we welcome you all to the meeting. Assistant Superintendent Joe Craig, see you here, and we thank you all for being here. Also, I think there might have been some question on how this matter got here, and we attended a COG meeting, I guess, maybe a month ago or so, and as you know, myself and Councilman Nakam, Vice Chair, and Member Bruce Conk and Member Jay Castile, who serves as chair of a committee that he started at the end of his term, and I continued when I became chairman, as we have been trying to go around and address the issue of our parish issues here at Lafayette Consolidated Governments as we approach a budget year. And when we attended this particular COG meeting, just about every entity in the parish of Lafayette was represented. Not only was the school board there, but each municipality within Lafayette Parish, of course, Mayor Robideau, members of our council, district attorney's office, and others. And that was a request. A member of the school board put out a request asking for support. And that's how this resolution came about. They've been going to each municipality within the parish of Lafayette, attempting to get a resolution of support for their cause. And I could tell you, for me, as I thought about it, as Councilman Lewis indicated, it may or may not be very long before we might need some support for a cause. And the fact of the matter is, I'm sure this will be front page tomorrow, Lafayette is going to speak loud and clear. It is time to make a decision. Either we're going to pay to get to the point that we want to be, or we're going to continue business as usual, be mediocre, and continue to deal with the things we deal with, whether it's roads and bridges, whether it's drainage issues that we face, since August, or whether it's our school system and the facilities that our children and our grandchildren and our neighbors have to go to. It's a choice. And what I appreciate about this is that I will certainly respect whatever choices are determined, whatever is made by the people. But what we have to do going forward is say that once this choice is made, we're going to live with it. You cannot compare me to Texas. You cannot compare me to Florida. You cannot compare me to other states or other municipalities if you're not willing to do the things you want to do. We recognize right here in Lafayette Consolidated Government, Councilman Kung put together an excellent presentation. And the thing that resonated with me immediately and will stick with me forever, 64 parishes in the state of Louisiana, okay, we 50th in tax collection, 50th in revenue generated from taxes. Hey, that's a beautiful thing to say when you want to be conservative, but it's ugly when you go visit your child's classroom. It's ugly when you ride down the road. It's ugly when the rain comes and 5 inches hit Surrey Street in an hour and a half. It's not pretty at all. So we're going to make decisions. But to not address these issues and put them before the people, I just don't think is an option. So the members of that particular committee agreed that it would be appropriate to bring before this council a resolution and an opportunity to partner, possibly support our colleagues at the board and other councils throughout this parish. And as government entities, and I like what Member Centeni said, It's about showing the people that you could trust us with your money and get away from the idea that every time you pay taxes, it's misappropriated or misused or not managed very well. So this is our option. So that's how we've come here. I'm going to support this. And I don't have children in the public school system anymore, but I do have 3 in college. But I can tell you I'm going to support it because I have neighbors and I have friends' children, and I visit these schools and these facilities, and I volunteer at them, and I see what we're subjected to. And I'm going to support that. We need to encourage people to support it by way of this, and we'll see what the people say. But I thank you all for your time here today and coming out and just sharing your vision. Superintendent Aguilar, we thank you for your time and coming and just share, and we certainly wish you all the very best, because the need is real. The need is real. Okay, so there's no other council discussion. That was, in fact, our last, oh, wait a minute, Mr. Lewis.
Sorry. I respect your observation, your concern, Chair, and, but again, as I was saying earlier, when I was speaking with Dr. Aguilar, I didn't respond to Centani, but again, I don't have any kids in public school. They were educated in public school. I was educated in public school as well. But I do represent people that some of their kids don't go to public school. They go to private school, charter school. So I've been speaking to some of my constituents, and they are saying, just as I said, that they have a lot of concerns when it comes to the roads, the bridges, the drainage. And again, I feel what the school system is saying. I understand that. I retired from the school system. So I do understand what is going on, what they want to do. I mean, it sounds great. I don't have that much of a problem, but then I'm liable to my constituents, which are saying at this moment that they don't know if they can support a sales tax. Again, I'm a councilman. I'm not a school board member. So I'm going to leave it up to the school board members to decide what their constituents want to do. And when it comes down to the council, I represent, that's why I was elected, to be a council member. So I'm going to wait until it's time to see if my constituents or if the council here going to put forward a tax for the roads, the bridges, and the drainage, and whatever, the infrastructure. Again, the consolidated government are responsible for all the infrastructure, just about. Okay, so again, I'll leave it up to the school board members to decide what their constituents want to do, and I'm going to wait until if something comes up as far as for the road, the bridge, for the city consolidated government, then I'm going to ask my constituents to support me, and I'm going to reach out to them and ask them what their wishes are. Again, this is not my seat. I was elected to be their voice, their ears, and their eyes. Thank you.
Okay, let's call the vote, please.
District 2?
Yes.
District 3?
I abstain.
District 4?
Yes.
District 5?
No.
District 6?
Yes.
District 7?
Yes.
District 8?
Yes.
District 9?
No.
District 1?
Absolutely yes.
Motion is approved.
This time, we're going to move to ordinances for final adoption. Again, this is a public hearing, and blue sheets are available for anyone wishing to address the council. The 5-minute rule does apply. Liz, could you please read item number 7?
Ordinance 35, 2017, an ordinance of the Lafayette